Weird setting today, I know. I'm at my parents' house and my original plan was to go outside and record, but one of the neighbors is mowing their lawn, so this will have to do because I really want to get this video out, and it's all about romanticizing your life. And I'm going to give you, I think I have 16 like small ways to do it, because you want to change your life and like be happier and more at peace and joyful. This is the way to do it. If you're new here, I'm Sarah and I help teach people how to find peace and build a fulfilling life through self-mastery and spirituality. So today I want to talk about romanticizing your life, because the thing is most of us live the majority of our life on autopilot, myself included, until I start to implement these things. And even then, this is very difficult to film in my car, and as you can see, my little fake nose ring fell off. I can't find it. There was a whole point to wearing it for this video. So let's just get into it. I know we were talking about being on autopilot and how most of us live that way. When you learn to romanticize your life, it kind of takes you out of that way of living, you know, that way of getting out of autopilot, building more gratitude, more joy, more love, more peace into your life. So in this video, I'm going to break down some ways that I personally do it, so that maybe some of them will click for you. Number one, which was the point of the entire fake nose ring, is to dress the part and fully immerse yourself in the experience. Because that's kind of the thing, is the easiest way to romanticize your life is by making everything you do an experience. Okay, and so tonight, soon, after this video, I am on my way to a Blink-182 concert. As a lot of you know, I'm a big raver. I don't really go to like normal concerts and shows. So I thought it would be fun to dress the part, hence the nose ring that was in the beginning of this video that is now, I guess, somewhere in my car. So I've got like my Blink shirt on that I got in high school. I used to be a huge Blink-182 fan. And then I've got some like chains on and stuff. This was gonna be better done, but you know, you do what you can do. I'm romanticizing my life by filming in my car. When we're little, we love playing dress up, whether you're a guy or a girl, and that funness never really goes away if you actually pull yourself into that. So whenever you're going out to do something, for example, I went to a vegan fest a few weeks ago, or at this point it's probably like a month or two ago, and I like dressed the part because it was fun and I fully immersed myself into the experience, and dressing that way is part of the experience. It's kind of like, you know, you go to work, you're going to dress a specific way. If you're going to sleep, you're dressing the part. Like, just do that in more areas of your life and when you're going to do fun things, and it just makes the experience just a little more immersive and full and juicy, if that makes sense. Number two, if you just wash your bedding, you have fresh sheets. Who doesn't love some fresh sheets? Shower before you get in them and just fully engulf that experience of feeling like fresh and clean and good. And it's just one of those things that's actually, funnily enough, that's what inspired this video. Is when I did this like 2 or 3 nights ago. I was like, oh my gosh, it just feels so amazing. And I just allowed myself to fully bask in the feeling of all the freshness and the cleanness, and it felt so good. So it's like, you can wash your bedding and then just like get in it, not even think about it twice. Or you can be like, wow, this is such an amazing experience, and allow yourself to kind of like feel that way. Number three, if you have some type of bed routine or skincare routine, or even like a morning routine, do something soft and relaxing while you do that. You know, sometimes, myself included, I'm inclined to like watch TV or scroll through TikTok or whatever while I'm doing those things. But if you just like put on some meditation music, some nice jazz or whatever like floats your boat while you're doing it, it just amplifies the experience of doing that and going through that skincare process. Does that make sense? So all these things are kind of about amplifying the experience that you're doing, and in turn kind of making you more present and bringing some gratitude into whatever it is that you're doing. And it's all the small things, right? Because those things kind of they add up and they snowball. Number four, if you work from home, have a setup that you love. Like, get the fuzzy pens or the colorful flowers, or the pretty notebook or whatever it is, the nice desk that you just love to sit at. Like really design your space, your workspace, so that it's not like, oh, let me just roll over and like go work. It's like, I get to sit at my desk and it feels all neat and I feel professional, or whatever it is that you're trying to aim for. Just like, again, immerse yourself in that experience and amplify that experience by bringing things into that component of your life that just feel good for you. Number 5, keep your space, whether it's your home, your apartment, your bedroom, whatever it is, your car. As you can see, I have a bajillion bags up here because I'm gone for the weekend doing all kinds of crazy things, but it like makes me a little stressed. Like, you ever hear the thing where it's like messy mind, messy life, or like tidy mind, tidy life? It's kind of the same thing, where if you keep your space clean and picked up and tidy, you just feel better. You feel more relaxed. Number 6, and I love this one and I do it all the time, and that's celebrating when small things happen and kind of allowing yourself to bask in that joy. And the small things that I'm talking about are like making a green light, getting a good parking spot. You know, those little things, like I'm like, yes, made the green light, and I'll do like a little dance. I'll be like, woohoo! You know, it's just like all those little things. It just makes everything you do so much more enjoyable, and in turn, again, brings so much more gratitude into your life. So my camera ended up overheating in the sun, so it was just a disaster trying to film that day. So here we are on a new day, and let's move on to number 7, which is slowing down. I've talked about this in other videos, but we obviously live in a very fast-paced society, especially in the Western world. And it's always just go, go, go. And when you're not going, you're on your phone and you're constantly taking in information, you're moving, and how do I be efficient? How do I get this done? How do I be more productive? And a really big key to romanticizing your life is to slow down. That was actually a big thing with these videos. I know sometimes some of you, like myself, watch videos on like 1.5 speed or even 2x, but that's kind of like part of what I'm talking about, is we're just like, it's just like zoom, zoom, like we're just zooming around the information, this and that, we're moving, we're multitasking. And when you romanticize your life, when you slow down, you breathe easier, things feel more peaceful, you feel just more, like, I don't know how to explain it, but just like, So like, just, even if you can just take some time out during your day, one of the things that I do is I have a reminder on my phone. I think I have it 3 times a day, like 11 a.m., 1 p.m., and 3 p.m., where it's just an alarm that goes off and it says breathe. And I will take 2 minutes, that's it. And I will just sit there and just slow down my body and find my calm, find my peace, because my day-to-day is very hectic. Like I'm sure most of you have too. So just having that reminder, because most times, honestly, like I do forget to kind of slow down and relax and breathe. So that's a really good way I do that. Number 8, if you have like pets or children or whatever, I have, as some of you have seen on my channel before, my cat named Sassy. And in the evenings, once I'm done everything I need to do for the day and it's feeling kind of nice out and things are a little more, you know, calm in my life, I actually take her outside on a walk. Now, I carry her. I'll try to insert a video here if I can find one. And I just kind of walk her around. We look at all of the different plants and I let her eat a little grass. I've put her on leashes and stuff, but it's just, it never goes well. And she's a very like hyperactive cat, and she talks a lot, and she's very like, she gets like nervous around people. She's so calm when I take her on these walks, and I just hold her in my arms and we walk around and we feel the breeze and we, you know, just kind of take it all in. And it's usually just like 5 or 10 minutes. So if you have a pet or a child and maybe go out for a walk, you know, whether it's in the morning or in the middle of the day, at the end of the day, whenever fits into your schedule. And again, it kind of goes along with that, like slowing down and just really admiring where you live and being out in nature, even if it is just a few minutes a day. Because the thing is like, I like being outdoors, but if I had to choose, I would say realistically, I'm probably more of an indoor person, just because like I don't like bugs. That's it, I don't like bugs. And I feel like humans weren't meant to be inside as much as we are. So really being intentional about taking that time to be outside, whether it's just outside of your house or by a body of water or hiking, whatever it is that like floats your boat, you know, just take a few minutes a day and make sure that you do get outside. Number 9, and this is like one of my favorite ones to romanticize your life, is using candles and having specific lighting, right? So like, I don't know how many other people are like this, but I'm very sensitive to light. And when you have like that low lighting and specific lighting throughout the house or your bedroom or wherever, it really can change the mood. And so it's not often that I have my overhead lights on. I like the little lights, and even if I have to have a few of them, because it just brings me a lot more peace. So be a little more intentional with your lights. If candles bother you, maybe you could try like incense or those little like stick things, you know what I'm talking about? Little sticks, what are they? I don't know what they're called. But the little sticks things that have like scents on them with like essential oils, that kind of thing. So just craft your space where it brings you peace. That's kind of like the bottom line here for like how to romanticize your space. Okay, number 10, if you're ever on any like longer car rides, like how do you romanticize a car ride? Well, first of all, setting up your car the way that you like, right? So like I'm very clean. I like things to be organized. I actually recently got my car detailed. I do that once a year. And so I keep it that way as long as I possibly can. But if I'm actually going on a road trip next week, and just make sure you're prepared and it like feels good. So like maybe have whatever music you want ready, or an audiobook, which is like a big thing that I do, or whatever snacks. Make sure you have whatever drinks you want, and just like be prepared and set it up before you start driving. So you know what I mean, when you're like on the road and you're like, oh, how do I get that snack? And it's down at the bottom of the passenger seat, and you're trying to fumble, but keep your eyes on the road. Like that just creates chaos. Okay, if you want to slow down and be peaceful, be mindful, romanticize every aspect of your life, how often are we in cars, right? So set it up the way that feels good to you, where you get in your car, like this is what I like, right? I open my car door and I get in and I just feel this sense of like, and you set your little drinks up and set your little things up and you're ready to go. Okay, number 11, this is stepping out of your comfort zone and kind of like trying new things maybe in the area that you live in that sound fun, or maybe they're unique. And even if you don't have anyone to do it with, like most of the times when I do these things, I just go by myself, but it's fun. Like I really like to do arts and crafts, but I don't do them very often. Like if you asked like my friends or my family if I was like an arts crafts person, they would probably say like no, you know, but I do, and I love it. And so what I do is I look out for things like sometimes on Facebook or whatever, of things that are going on in my area. Like I did a fairy garden. This coming week I might be going to build this like, it's kind of like a glass case, and you build like a nature scene inside of it. There's a place that's like 20 minutes from here that's hosting that. And so just kind of like stepping out of your comfort zone and doing things that like just sound fun and they're different, and maybe you've never done it before. Like I've never done whatever I'm doing this weekend, like the building the thing. I've never done that before, but I was like, oh, that sounds like kind of nice, and I would like to have that decoration like in my room and like to craft it myself. And so part of like romanticizing your life is just not getting sucked into the routine day-to-day things and allowing that to become your weeks, your months, your years, your life, right? The way to kind of like spice it up and spruce it up and make your life more exciting is to try new things. And it doesn't have to be some crazy big commitment like, oh, I'm gonna travel the world, or which would be great, but I'm gonna learn a new language, this and that. Like it can be a simple thing like, oh, well, I feel like going to the movies tonight. Like what can I go see? Or, oh, I feel like going on this walk. Or, oh, they're hosting this event, I'm gonna go to that. Or maybe I'll go over to the winery because they have live music there tonight. And just kind of like look in your area and see like what events are going on. I don't live in like a city or anything, so I'm telling you, if there's places that do this kind of stuff around me, and sometimes I travel a little bit for it, sometimes I'll drive like 45 minutes or so to go do these things, but it's fun and it's worth it. So I really encourage you to look around and see what kind of events or opportunities that your area is hosting. Number 12, and I know I kind of ish touched on this already, but number 12 for financing your life. Like, you see where my mind's at? That's what I'm saying. Like, if we slow down, be present, right? So number 12, to romanticize your life, is creativity or crafting or whatever it is that you like to do to be creative. Truthfully, for me, mine is my YouTube videos, and also like my modeling. I used to model full time, as I've talked about in other videos, but you know, I'm in real estate full time now. I'm really happy doing that, but I still enjoyed the creative aspect of modeling and like putting the outfits together and posing and doing all of that. So that's one of the things I still do, even though it's just kind of like on the side and for fun. It's like more of like a hobby now. Whatever random crafts I feel like doing. Recently, I wanted one of those like stairs you can put on the wall for your animals, like your cats. And so I ordered this set, and it was a wooden thing, and I was gonna hang it, and I was like, well, wait a second, how can I like make this more fun? And I decided to paint it and craft it before I hung it on the wall. So it wasn't just like a boring wood, but now it's all like colorful and stuff. So yeah, just experiment with like whatever makes you feel creative. It could be like music, it could be writing scripts or books or journaling, or there's so many ways you can get creative. Just find something that you like. Okay, number 13, and this might trigger some people, only when it feels authentic for you. Smile and like talk to other people that are like random out that you're passing in the grocery store, the gas station, or whatever. Just say hello or have a good night, or give them a compliment, like a genuine compliment. And just, if you're like me, a lot of times I don't like leaving the house. It's a weird thing because I'm like kind of a people person, but I'm also not at the same time. And often when I leave the house, like I don't want to talk to anyone. Like, I'll use the self checkout in the grocery like store because like I don't want to like talk to a person. But one of the things I've realized that most of the time, if I do kind of like force myself to smile at someone or be a little kinder or get into the regular checkout line and have that little chat with the you know, person that's checking out my groceries, it brings a little spark, it brings a little energy, not only to me but to the other person as well. And it could be kind of like a domino effect. So, you know, if that's something you feel comfortable doing, I highly recommend it, because I have found that, I don't know, I like making other people feel good. And when other people feel good, like it makes me feel good. So it's kind of just like a benefit for all. So I encourage you, even if it's just like for one day, like if you're out of your house, just like try it, see how it feels. As long as you're in like an okay mood. Like if I'm in a grouchy mood, like I am not talking to you. Like I am not talking to you. Sometimes it's like, even if I walk into the gym in the morning and no one's at the front desk, where I don't have to, but all I choose to do is like say good morning or hi or whatever. Like if they're not at the front desk, I'm like internally like, yes, like I don't have to deal with that. So like I get it, trust me, like if you're like that, like just know that I really understand. But this is just one of those tiny little things that can just make you feel a little more connected. Okay, number 14. This is a really big one. This is more of like a mindset shift, but it's a really big component of like learning to romanticize your life. And it's kind of, I would define it as kind of like redefining perspectives. An example of this is like, okay, for the next few weeks, I have a lot going on. I have a photo shoot tomorrow. I have a barbecue on Sunday. I leave for a festival next weekend, so I have to like figure out time to pack. I come back from that, and my rental property, my tenants are moving out, so I have to turn that over really quick. I already found tenants to move in, and then I go on another trip just a week after that. So in the next like 30 days, I have so much going on, and my automatic like bodily response is stress. Like it's just like, it's so much to do. How am I gonna get it done? It's too much. But when you redefine that perspective, right? And instead of saying I have to or I should, it becomes I get to. wow, I get to have a photo shoot. I get to see friends at a barbecue. I get to go to a festival and have a great time. I get to go on this trip. I'm so lucky I found new tenants already, and that, you know, there's not too much I have to do to the property to get it ready for them once my other ones move out. And just instead of like the automatic response that we get, even when they're all good things, sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. So when you find yourself saying like, I have to do this, I should do this, I invite you to redefine that. And when you catch yourself saying that, when you catch yourself going down that rabbit hole, but oh, I have to do this, like, I get to go work out. I get to go to work and make a living and whatever. I have a house that I get to clean because I have this beautiful home, right? So all of the things that we perceive as like a negative, or we automatically go back to that system of thinking. And again, that has to do with your neurological pathways, which I have a video on that. I'll link it right here. Super powerful. It's definitely my top 3 videos I've ever made if you want to understand that on like a deeper level. But when you can train yourself to look at these things from that different perspective, it will alter your life for the better. Like I guarantee it. Like I guarantee it. If you start switching that mindset and saying I get to instead of I have to, whew, game changer. Okay, game changer. Okay, number 15, and this is also a little bit of a mindset thing, but this is like, laugh at things that stress you out. What do you mean, Sarah? I do this all the time, and I know it like sounds kind of like strange, but I've learned that making fun of myself in like a lighthearted way, not in like a mean, nasty way, but when I make fun of myself, it really lightens my mood, and it kind of like can turn my like very sour mood into a very like laughy, uplifting one pretty quickly. I'll just go back to the last example I was talking about with all these things going on. Like I can be all stressed and and like I'm freaking out, like I have to do this, I'm making this list and blah, blah, blah. And I'll stop and be like, and I'll literally like, oh Sarah, oh you're so stressed out because you get to go on like a trip and you get to go to a festival. Oh, like your life is so sad, like wah, 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 wah. And I kind of like make fun of myself in that tone. And then like I'll start like realizing like, wow, that is really silly that like I'm getting stressed about this, and it completely turns my mood around. And I'm telling you, this happens like even if I am in the worst mood, but I can muster up like to be able to kind of like joke with myself. It's like there's nothing that I've found that is a quicker way to change my mood around. Now I'm not always in the mood to do that, but I would say like I do that at least 80% of the time. So I invite you to try that, even if it feels kind of weird. Like sometimes I'm in the car, maybe you like just miss a green light and you like get to the red light and you're like frustrated. Like, oh Sarah, like your life is so bad. Like, oh, you have to sit at a red light, like poor baby. Like, oh, wow, wow. Like I'll literally say like things like that to myself. And then I'm like, it just makes you, it puts that perspective shift. And it makes you realize like, wow, like I don't need to be upset about this. You know what I mean? So try that one out too. And last but not least, to romanticize your life, stop and notice things and like bask in them. Like this is such a big one. You know, when you're walking from your car into the house and you see the squirrel, maybe there's a squirrel like chasing another squirrel. Like instead of just walking by it and like, you know, not even noticing it, stop and like watch them and be like, oh, like, that's so cute. Look at these little squirrels running around. Or like maybe you're walking down the street and you see a couple and they're sitting there and they're just like laughing, like cracking up together. Like, don't be creepy, right? But just like stop and like notice that for a second and just be like, admire it and be like, wow, it's like so beautiful to see, you know? Or when you're walking around at night, maybe you got back late and you're walking from your car to your house and like you notice like the sky is full of stars. So just stop and like look at them and just admire them and be like, wow, that's so beautiful. And you don't have to stand there for 20 minutes, but like, just take 10 seconds every time and just notice these things, right? Like right now behind you, I just noticed a bird like fly up into the window and I was like, I mean, it's like cute, you know what I mean? It's like, oh wow, that's so nice. You know, all in all, the biggest thing that I do that will help you enjoy your life a little more and romanticize your life a little more, and this is probably my number one like tip, is to prepare the experience for yourself ahead of time. It's kind of what I was talking about with like the long car rides earlier. Another thing that I do is like I just genuinely really like a clean and organized space. So at night before I go to bed, if there's anything out in my room that like maybe a dish that needs to go down or a book that needs to be put away, or I don't know, a pair of pants that's like, whatever is like not in its proper place, I put away before I go to bed so that I can wake up into the beautiful, clean, organized experience. If I go out of town for a weekend or a week or however long, I clean my room, I do my laundry, I clean my bed sheets, I do all of that like the days leading up to it. So that way when I come home, I can walk into a peaceful tranquility and feel like just, like I'm home and it feels good, instead of walking into chaos if I left everything in disarray before I went away. So just prepare your experience a little bit ahead of time, and it will just magnify your entire life and make you feel so much better. So I hope you found so much value out of this video. This is a thing that will really change your life. So I love you guys so, so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can hang out again next week. And don't forget, be limitlessly yourself.